Hi, Mr. Welker. Chapter 6 is about staff development, of which I have some really strong feelings, as a matter of fact, and have been very immersed in that as the leader of a building with about 130 employees, and trying to change the school culture over a period of time, which really meant involvement of everyone, not just certified staff, but certainly certified staff being leaders in their own right and buying into some ideas that might have been a little bit alien to them. I think change is constant, change is good. When you do this, history just happened, which is an implication for social science teachers that, well, you can't just rely on old history. You need to somehow make it relevant in your classroom to 21st century learners who are living history every single day. And the only way they become interested is if we connect those things. But anyway, I don't think anyone remains qualified. Once you get qualified, especially in our business of education, you've got to continually have training and you've got to continually have education, try to stay up on methods that will really serve the students of our day. And so if you're standing still, as far as I'm concerned, you're going backwards. I know that PLCs are the popular cliche these days, and professional learning communities I think are great. I think they've been formalized to the point that allows people to have a really good process and really be goal oriented and even data oriented to make sure that the things that they're doing have some relevance and some worth and really do change the environment in such a way that kids benefit. I will say all of these ideas of professional development that are outside being on the job training and action research, I find sometimes to be not as efficient and not as effective in particular as other ways of doing professional development. For instance, we did change our professional development to not bring in guest speakers. We started to use, and we had the economy of scale in a large district, to find people who had expertise and so offer lots of different places for people to go whenever we had full days of professional development so that the expertise within our walls was utilized to the fullest. I think that was a great change. And that personalized it in a sense of also allowing people to see what other people are doing and what other talents they had and had go-to people when they had ideas. So I think that was really good. We did change a system completely, and probably not enough time here to discuss it, but doing what we called customized learning really allowed for teachers to not need professional learning communities any longer because they worked together collegially all the time. And when they were doing that, they were learning and growing. Plus the fact that they were developing with the students curriculum and assessment all the time to be able to allow students to get to mastery of skills. That is a different concept and almost a school without walls in a way, and really reshape time to allow teachers to have a lot of their own time together during the school day to really grow professionally and feel a lot of professional worth with their kids and with other staff. But that's maybe a conversation for a completely different time. Definitely all members need to be learning. The PLC model means that we focus on the learner, not the instruction, that all members are collaborative and really listen and are open to new ways of thinking and paradigm shifts, and that there's a lot of self-accountability in this. And the TLC model in Iowa, fabulous, fabulous model, given resources, given teachers extra time. That TLC model lends itself to the professional learning communities, of course, perfectly. I did hear or I saw the formula for teaching in this particular book of stimulus, response, reinforcement, motivation. I've got to tell you that I disagree with that. That linear idea of how people learn and retain, I just completely disagree with. And the reason for that would be that there's no practice. Reinforcement, I guess, could be practice. Maybe response is some practice. But in actuality, you know that we learn by doing. And so the more that we do on the job training and on the job collaboration, the more we give teachers and other staff members that possibility, the more it's going to be retained and then put into practice in a way that really does make changes for the better and positive. I am completely against these one-time deals, which is interesting because just today and yesterday I was at the special education conference where it was all about lecture. And what we did was listen to keynote speakers and listen them to breakout sessions, and then where does that go? And in particular, where is the reinforcement? again, like I mentioned, and I'm going to really urge and request at Carroll that we don't do those things where it's one time, pay somebody $5,000 to come in and apparently motivate us. Here's a great example. I liked the book Teach Like a Pirate. I don't know if you're familiar with it. That gentleman did come to our school district, and we invited some other school districts to defray the cost. Came and spoke, and he was fine. But basically, he talked about anticipatory sets. So what he was telling everybody was, you need to be able to stand up and be this entertainer to really get the attention of your kids, and then they'll do anything for you. Well, I don't agree with that. I think engagement comes in skill development. Engagement means that they are practicing skills or practicing the arts that they're going to take forward. So I completely disagree with that process of learning. I don't think that it's for retention. And the pyramid of retention shows that the more we do things, the more that we're completely immersed and involved and engaged, those are things we take forward. And there's a zillion examples of that. So that's one place in the book I can't agree with. Um, for the PD process of planning, I do agree with that, that you find the goals, objectives, missions of the school. First of all, that's where you start. You assess where there's gaps, where you're not meeting that mission and those goals and objectives. You establish then the development goals. You get the programming and the calendar, you implement, and then you evaluate the program to see if it made any difference. Instructionally means simply that you're looking for the most contemporary things which will engage the kids in skill development that will make the diploma meaningful. That's my own words, not the books, but just trying to digest that. And you look at student needs, then those are the things that instructionally we should be focused upon. I know that much professional development nowadays is focused on test scores. I will tell you that's fine, and I will not in any way relent on things that will help our students, in particular ACT scores, so that they get the most cash, most bang for their buck from us. But the things that are called soft skills, I think, are hard skills, and those are problem solving, creativity, curiosity, accountability, self discipline, internal locus of control, responsibility. Those are things I hope our school district does teach, does model, because when those kids walk out, that vision of what they're going to need 5 years down the line is impossible for us to predict. So if we can get them those foundational skills within the curriculum and content, their test scores will be fine, but their possibilities for success in their lives will be even better. All employees can benefit. I did respect what they said in the chapter, that it shouldn't just be about the certified staff. If you're going to implement professional development to whatever degree, try to involve every staff member. And again, I just think that Iowa's done a great job, both in the mentoring program and the mentoring for administrators, and now in the TLC program and the AEAs, having some influence in that, also in learning and leadership, and really trying to make inroads in finding professional development that will get teachers to the top of their game. Good chapter. Again, I have some real strong feelings about professional development. A lot of that has to do with, you and I have been in the business long enough, and your business prior, that a lot of times it's just cyclical things, that they're just repackaged and renamed, and they're exactly the same things. I do think that there's some innovations out there that are new, contemporary, and that really meet the 21st century and what our kids need and the demographics of our kids these days. So that's where I'm heading at Carroll. But professional development is terrific and necessary in our business. And you hope there's buy-in from the 40-year tenured teacher down to the first-year teacher. So we'll try to do that at Carroll. Thanks again, Mr. Walker. I'll send this to you shortly.